Well, good evening, Christian Family Church. It's Thursday night, and once again, it's Zooming with the members. And we trust that you guys are well, and so we got a fully loaded program for you this evening, and we're looking forward to it. So before we get into it, let's first of all see if everybody is online. Are you guys already online? And are you guys commenting? Where are you watching from? What are you doing? Yes, I see you guys are there. So that's awesome. So can I ask you now at this stage, let's just wait for a couple of more people to get online. I see there's 7 people already online. So let's see how that goes. And then, hey, why don't you share your this post or this live broadcast? Maybe quickly WhatsApp a couple of people, some of your members, some of your leaders, or some of the friends, and tell them to jump onto the live feed this evening. And we're going to be talking to you about all the technology that we're busy implementing and how we are moving forward to make things much more safer for you, and also obviously hassle-free. That's really the key word, hassle-free, and we're going to be talking about that. So tonight my special guest is Pastor Leon Killian, and he represents the Management Information Systems at Christian Family Church, and responsible really for all the member information, the security of that information, but also the processing of the information, reports about this, and then coming up with all these new innovations that we have, and how do we make life better for people post-COVID. And that's really what we're going to be looking at. So, all right, okay, there's a couple of more people jumping onto the line. So let me quickly welcome. Hey, Clive, welcome. Charlene Brown, welcome. You and the whole family, I'm sure, are seated around the TV. You've already done supper. Last week, Charlene had to run away because she had to go make dinner. I'm just mentioning it, Pastor Charlene, so you're out there. Ivan, welcome. We can't wait for the waffler to be open one of these days, okay, for takeaways at least. Matthew, welcome. I'm glad to see that you're watching with us tonight and you are not playing any Xbox this evening, so welcome. As far as Pastor Folder, all the way from Pretoria, welcome. Precious McKeezer, welcome. So good to have you guys. Tammy, welcome. Renata, Bruce Rycroft, Precious, Sonia, Charlotte, Clayton Willifield, once again, yes, great to see you guys. Princess Barbie, Abundance Nsokolo, welcome. I'm giving the whole name. And Dolores Freeman, welcome. Yes, you and Rodney are there. And then, hey, it's so good to see you guys. So please comment and tell us, what is your expectation? What do you think we're going to talk about tonight? Well, we're talking about the information systems about the church. But hey, folks, it affects you. Because first of all, not only are we making it easier, are we making it smoother for you, but it's important on how to get on board. I understand there are some people that were born BC, and that's not before Christ, but before computers. I understand that. And so we have to help you on how to get with computers or with technology, all right? And so we are going to do that. We're going to help you because it's important that you know what is happening here. So just once again, yeah, a couple of more people jumping on there. Thank you, guys. Welcome. It's so wonderful. So just get your questions ready. I see we've already got 79 people. We're going to maybe wait a minute or two. And while we wait and get people to jump on, and hey, remember, once again, share the link with other people. Quickly, get other people to jump on. Tell them there's the biggest news ever that's going to break right now. Only kidding, but it is important. But we're going to talk about some interesting things and how we are going to help you and pastor you better as a congregation. And here tonight to help me, as I said, is Pastor Leon Killian. Pastor Pranusha is unfortunately not available. She is cooking and she's looking after the children, I think it is. And so Pastor Leon is part of MIS. So Pastor Leon, as it just is by means of introduction, tell me what it is that you guys do, you and Pastor Pranusha. What do you guys do in the church, and what is your role and function? Just as by means of introduction.
Good evening, family. So nice to be with you tonight. We're so excited that a year and a half ago, we as a church, we implemented a new database system called Planning Center. It is phenomenal. It has really helped us as a church to manage our programs and to really manage our membership so much more effectively, to help us to engage with you in a much more personal way, to help you to be aware of all the events and all the exciting things that happen here at church. Now, the planning center system is so phenomenal that they are on the edge of technology, and they have now issued the Church Center app, which is really an extension of our database system. And that is one of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight, all the benefits around the Church Center app. And I'm so glad that you all can be a part of this innovation of the technology.
Okay, great. Thanks, Pastor Leon. So apart from obviously managing Planning Center, which is our church administration tool, so what is it that you and Pastor Pranusha do on a daily basis regarding this? You know, what is the kind of processes that you guys go through as far as this is concerned?
Pastor Johnny, it's important for us to understand that the purpose of our church database system is not just to manage processes, but as a church, every individual is important. And so for us, really, we're designing the systems behind the programs to make sure that a person that attends church from the time they visit until they become a member, that we can track their activity through Growth Track, through all the events, to make sure and to help them to get to the point where they're team ready, where they're actually effectively serving on a team, where they've joined a group. And so behind the scenes, really, we design the systems to help each member in that journey.
Yes, yeah. And I think, you know, we are one of the few churches that have such excellent systems, if I may say so myself, is that, you know, it's exactly what you say, is to help us pastor our members way better. Because if we know what the members involved in, it's easy then to follow the track of growth of that member, see how they're involved and where they are leading. And when you make a phone call, it's so easy quickly to get all the information together, and you know exactly who you're speaking to and the areas of responsibility. For example, if people have joined, say, for example, the welfare groups, then it's easy from our system. We can quickly see these are the people we need to talk to about welfare, for example, and we can pinpoint it. We can be very sharp instruments in how we communicate and not have a blunt approach where we're trying to speak to the welfare guys and then we send out 30,000 mails or 30,000 SMSs, and we can be very precise in what we do.
Yeah, absolutely, Pastor Johnny. The Planning Center system has really helped us to really communicate effectively to our congregation and to our members.
Great. Thank you, Pastor Leon. So let me just quickly welcome a couple of more people. Martin van Sale, Rosetta, Esther, Clayton, Kumaran, Sandra, Bruce, Linda, Sophia, sorry, Marita, Kevin, Asanda, Leia, Pastor Leia, welcome, Lee the rapper, welcome, and Mba, welcome, Mbelo, welcome, and so forth. And so many of you are jumping up. And so we're going to get started with it. So welcome, everybody. It's so exciting for me to talk to you tonight. And in light of COVID-19, we obviously as a church, as you know, and yourselves, you are well aware of it, we had to make so many changes in our lives and adapt to certain things. From, for example, not moving out to wearing face masks and hand sanitization and going into places like today. I went into the bank, I had to fill out forms and all kinds of things. So life is a little bit different. And I'm trusting that soon, very soon, all these things will be something of the past. Can I get a great amen and a high 10 right there? Amen. So, but while we're in there and having to prepare our place of worship and our offices, and when you come back, and I'll tell you what, folks, it's going to be the best services ever that weekend. But when you come back, we need to be ready as a church, and we need to prepare ourselves, prepare the workplace or the church place and the engagement processes of how we're going to deal with you, because we want your experience to be phenomenal. It's going to be a positive experience. It's going to be a nice experience. And hopefully we would want to hug and kiss and do whatever we always do as Christian Family Church members. However, if we can't do that, and to ensure that we can still meet under specific regulations and conditions, we have to prepare ourselves. But it's not only for COVID now. The good news is this is a huge step forward, a giant leap forward in our technological presentation and how we're going to engage with you. And we are putting the power in your hands so that you can manage yourself almost to a certain extent and not rely on antiquated systems like clipboards and paper documents and stuff like that. So we're moving ahead with technology. And yes, as I said earlier, don't worry, for those of you that are BC, before computers, we will help you. We are going to have a lot of things, and Pastor Leon is going to tell us about that. Okay, so let's just quickly talk about the two things that is happening. As you know, a lot of people have asked us, but Pastor Johnny, we have a church app. What is different now because of the church app? Now, the church app, our CFC church app, is a source or an app of information. It helps you can watch the services on there. You can get the notes of the sermon. You can listen to audio recordings. It's a smaller version of the website. You are able then to engage with us in a better way or whatever it might be. All right. So there it is on the screen right now, the church app. That's what the logo looks like. So if you download that one, you will get into CFC Johannesburg. That's the app. And you can download it and you'll get all this information, message notes, sermon videos, how to connect, how to take next steps. And it's really a great source of information. But then we have the Church Center app. Now that's slightly different, and Clive is going to put it up on. Hey, so by the way, Clive is also with us tonight. So he's undercover. We can't see him there. Maybe Clive, you just want to quickly show your face if you want to there and just say hi to everybody. Okay, there we come. There he comes. Okay. So, hey, how's it, Clive? Okay, welcome. So Clive is working behind the scenes there, working overtime. He's still in the office, as you guys can see. So the Church Center app is an app of administration that you yourself can do. And the main reason why we do this, we're going to talk about that now. But let me just talk about the fact that here's the Church Center app. Notice the logo. Notice the logo, what it looks like. So you would go into your Play Store or wherever you can download these apps, and you would download the Church Center app. And then it is so simple to get connected, family. If you have been with a church previously and your records are in the church, the minute you activate it with your mail address, and Pastor Leon's going to talk about it, so let me not steal his thunder, it immediately puts all your information in the palm of your hand, and then you can connect your families and all kinds of things. But okay, Pastor Leon's going to talk about that. So let me quickly draw the distinction. Number one, the church app is for information, and the Church Center app is for administration. Whose information are you administrating? Your own. If your telephone number changes, you can update it yourself. If your email has changed, you can change it yourself. You can check in on your way to church. You can check into the service. You can, even if your children are going to Children's World, you can pre-check them in. And when you get to church, you just scan that barcode, print out the labels, no delays, no hassles. You're just going to flow with the system. So we are trying to make it so easy for you. But let me ask Pastor Leon, what is the biggest reason why we're doing this, Pastor Leon? Why are we moving with technology? Obviously, apart from the obvious reasons, what is one of the biggest reasons why we're moving with this new app?
Pastor Johnny, like you've already mentioned, the situation that we're in at the moment with COVID-19, we all had to conform to health and hygiene measures in our workplace, with our children, in business, and also now at church. And so it's really an opportunity for us now to, because clipboards is something of the past, and we had to find a new process to manage our church members' details. So this is now the ideal opportunity for us as a church to embrace technology. And I'm one of those BC people that you spoke about, Pastor Johnny. Computers came out after I left school. Can you believe it? And but what I've realized is that God has given us technology to help us And I believe that at this time, as a church, we can greatly benefit. So, in short, then, clipboards are replaced with a much more hygienic system where we don't have to now send clipboards down the aisles during the system, but before this, the church, we will check in. And then very importantly, as you've mentioned, Pastor Johnny, now the church member has a tool in their hand where they can administer their own personal information. And it is so important for us as a church to have their correct details. That helps us to pastor them better and to care for our members better if we have their correct details. And so really, it is a great tool that we are embracing.
Awesome. So just before we go into a little bit more details, as you were seeing on the screen there, folks, Clive was just showing, the difference between the church app, it's for information, and the church center app for administrating yourself and making your life really easy. Isn't it just amazing? I can drive in my car and I can check myself into the services. Now, obviously, you can't go home then, you've got to still come to church and then print your kids, your whole family, print their labels, activate it. Yeah, when you get to church, you just print it and you fast track through the system. You don't have to stand in the queues and all those kind of things. That's just going to be phenomenal. So we're going to have scanners and all kinds of things, that self-service kiosks that's going to be able to help you to move much quicker through this process. Okay, so Pastor Leon, is this process of getting onto the church center app, let's just focus perhaps on that now, because the administration part, is it really a difficult process? And how do I basically go about doing it? What are the steps?
Pastor Johnny, the steps are easy, and what we have also done is we have communicated to the congregation via email, where we've sent them all an email with a detailed tutorial that really breaks it down step by step. And so for those who've perhaps not opened their emails, just go and have a look at those emails. It's really simple. But the first thing is obviously to download the Church Center app from your Play Store. And then very importantly, this system is secure. It requires you to request an activation code before you can log in, and only you will receive that activation code in your email inbox. And nobody else has access then to your login or to your profile. Of course, there are certain levels in the administration of the system of users that have certain levels of login, but we can assure you that your personal details are safe, and even a group leader would only have access to information of their specific group. And of course, the administrators that work at church have access to certain information, but your information is secure. And then after you've logged in, you as a member logged in, simply search for our church by name, CFC Johannesburg, and select South Africa as your country and Johannesburg as the area. And you will find our church easily and you can log in.
Great. Yeah. So, or you can browse it and you can look at the various churches and then choose the right one.
Yes, but it's important to specifically search by name CFC Johannesburg to find our church.
Great. Okay, so let me just quickly, and if people have got challenges, Pastor Leon, just finding that step, doing step one, and maybe step 2 or step 3 or step 4 or any part of the process. If people have challenges, and I noticed on the screen, you've shown exactly the steps, the email that has gone out to everybody. And folks, hey, if you have not received it, then please contact us and say, listen, I have not received this, in the comments, or what is the email that they can send it to, Pastor Leon, where they can ask any question?
Pastor Johnny, they can send an email. You, the congregation, can send the email to mis@cfcsa.co.za. I'm not sure if Clive can perhaps just display it on the screen if he can, but let me just say that again, mis@cfcsa.co.za. And we want to help everybody. We don't want to exclude anyone from this process. We are here to help. If you need assistance, let us know.
And that's great. And that's great because we want everybody to participate. We want 100% participation as far as this is concerned. So let me just summarize thus far. So we have an information app where we can find all the information about the church, messages, notes, and all kinds of things. And then we have this church center app for administration. It's very easy to download. It's free of charge. It's not going to cost you anything to download this. And secondly, it is to help you administrate yourself. Secondly, it's out with clipboards and out with possible contamination during filling out of clipboards. Now, everything is in your hands. Thirdly, it's very safe. So in other words, your information is safe, even though there might be some people that have it on their phone. Not everyone has access to the information. And not only that, am I right in saying this, Pastor Leon, if somebody is going into some information, you guys right there at MIS are able to see who's maybe fiddling with the information. Not that it's possible, but we have security measures in place, correct?
We have measures in place, absolutely. And I want to ensure, once again, you, the congregation, that this system is as secure as any banking system of online banking that you are using. It is a top-of-the-art security that is built into the planning center system.
That's awesome. And we want to give our members also the assurance, once again, folks, I want you to know, is that we take your information very, very seriously, and we safeguard your information. We don't sell our database to companies so that they can send you all kinds of spam and stuff like that. Because you trust us with your information, we take that trust relationship very seriously, and we don't use it for anything else other than to pastor you better. Okay, so I hope that answers that question also potentially. Hey, a lot more people coming online. Hey, well, good evening, guys. I'm not going to say hi to everyone. It's not because I don't want to. It's just that there's just so many names. But in any case, welcome, everybody. Really appreciate everybody sending a wave, and here's my wave back to you. All right, wonderful. Pastor Leon, okay, so now that we realize it's an administration system. So talk us a little bit through what it all can do and what is expected of me. Okay, so now I've got the app. What is expected of me? When and where and how? Talk us through those processes and what can this church center app all do?
So you as the member, the first thing that we want you to be a part of is to check in for church. At the moment, we're doing online church. We have a morning service at 8:30 and then 5 p.m. service. So we want the congregation to be a part of what we do, and I'm sure you as a member want to be part of what we do as a church. So on a Sunday morning, before the start of the service, even from this Sunday, 8:30, check in to church online. Just before 5 o'clock, check into church online. So that is the first step that we want you to be involved in. Then, of course, we want you to use the tool for administering your information. You can, on the homepage, on the top right corner, there you can click on your profile picture. There you can see your own personal details and also those of your household. And the beauty of this system is now you can you can link the members of your household, and when you arrive at church or even for online church, you can check yourself and the members of your household in. And there's a function on the household page, send an email, and through that function you can send an email straight to church, to the MIS email address. We will receive it and we will action your request and add any of your church or your family members to your household. So that is the first step that we want them, that we want you as the congregation to be a part of.
Okay, so we saw now in those pictures coming up, I see there's 5 steps. So just quickly summarize it for us. What are the 5 steps to get involved in? And then, just if you can just summarize the 5 steps for us. What's in that mail, please, Pastor Leon?
Okay, the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to download the Church Center app. The second thing, you're going to find, search and find Christian Family Church by searching for CFC Johannesburg. Then you're going to request your activation code by using the email address where you usually receive your correspondence from the church from. If you do not have an email address, you can simply create a Gmail address, and you can use that then as your email correspondence. And once you've requested your activation code, allow 1 or 2 minutes to receive the code, enter it, and then you are logged in. Once you are logged in, you can stay logged in. You don't have to log out of the Church Center app. And then you have access to then update your information. There are certain fields that you have that you have access to update, like your contact information, your date of birth. If it's not already entered, you can enter that. You can enter your marital status, your anniversary date, and your pastor could possibly send you a congratulations message on your anniversary. Who knows?
Yes.
And once your details are updated, then you are ready to check in. The menu is at the bottom of the page, and then you simply select the check-in menu at the bottom. You select your event that you want to check into, the people that you want to check in, and of course, for the weekend services, we will have the church online check-in event, and also the Dream Team event for those who are on Dream Team. And once you've selected it, then you checked in. Awesome. And may I also just mention, Pastor Johnny, that you can also register for events. We have now Growth Track Online happening. We have Leaders Training happening. And at the bottom, under the Events tab, you can access those events and you can register for those events. Simple and easy.
So in other words, I've got now my Church Center app open. Yes, maybe you can't see it. Okay, so that the screen is so bright. Okay, but in any case, I notice here on the bottom, so I've got my homepage. I can update my profile at the top. Yes, like you've said, I see even my groups. I can report my group's attendance from here. Is that correct, Pastor Leon?
Pastor Johnny, you can access your group information. This is not for leaders to report their attendance. They still have to do that through the link that they receive via email. But a beautiful function that or a feature that I love about this app, if you're a leader, and you can ask your pastor or your coach to let them arrange for your group chat to be activated on the app. That'll enable your group members to, like a WhatsApp, to text one another through the app. It is secure. Their details won't even be shown, or their phone numbers will not be disclosed, but your group members will be able to communicate with each other through a text function on the app.
In other words, we have like a WhatsApp, built-in WhatsApp with group members.
That's correct, Pastor Johnny. It has to be activated for a specific group. So like I said, if you're a group leader and you want that function for your group members, just let your coach or LTM or pastor know, and they will arrange for that function to be activated for your group and your members.
Awesome. So in other words, I have a home page with all my details on. I can change all my details. I can see who my group members are. I can speak to my group members. I then have a check-in button. I can check into for services, select which service I'm checking into, or whether it's Dream Team or church services, because most of us, we attend services and we serve. So I could first of all maybe check in my case, and then I do my Dream Team check-in as well. And then lastly, I've got events, and just like I've got it on here now, this is now a leadership training online. This weekend, we're starting with 2 things. Step 1 of the Growth Track Online, as well as Leadership Training 1. So yeah, this is all that's already here, and I can now select it, and I can pre-register for these events. That's just amazing. Okay, so awesome. So this really helps me to be in charge of how I'm engaging with the church, giving them my latest information, because you know, Pastor Leon, sometimes we send out, say, 30,000 SMSs to people, especially when Apostle Theo is here, and then we get like 2, 3, or 4,000 of those sometimes that bounces back because the information is wrong. And that is because we don't have the right information, or people's numbers have changed, or they lost their phone and they got a new number or a new. And so these kind of things is sometimes frustrating, just as frustrating for us as it is for the member. And people feel that we're not communicating. But now they would be able to update the information, whatever the new details are, at any time of the day or night, basically. And so we would be able to stay in contact.
Pastor Johnny, and for the members' benefit, I want to just highlight one of the functions that we have mentioned and maybe not given you the details about your household, how to see who's on your household. You go to the homepage, and on the top right, you click to open your own profile. Right in the middle of the screen, you see your household. Now, if you click on there, you'll be able to access the information that's on the app that we have of your household. If you want anybody else to be added, please click on the send email function right there on the screen and give us the name, surname, cell phone number perhaps, and the date of birth of the person that you want to be added to your household, and we will gladly assist you with that. So that is a quick and easy way for you to communicate and send your request to us.
I'm just taking a couple of the questions Sophia's asking, and which is something that it's actually a great feature, as Sophia. Once I've checked in and it says I'm checked in, then sometimes I get a barcode and it says I'm ready to check out. What does that mean? She's asking her, what does that mean? And maybe you can explain what the purpose of that would be and under which circumstances that would be applicable.
If I'm correct, it's Sophia that asked the question. Sophia, what I would firstly say to you is go to the App Store and download the latest updated version of the Church Center app. They were busy in implementing some new features of checkout features, which is really meant for departments like children's ministry, where children has to check in and check out. So in the general use of the check-in feature, that screen is not supposed to appear. So if you download the latest update version of the Church Center app, that will eliminate that screen from coming up, and the message that you should see is you're all checked in once you've done your check-in.
And so they're also asking, Sophia is also asking, she's asking about 3 or 4 questions. I see they start over. So what does it mean if I start over? Can I check in again because maybe I made an error? Is that what it's like, a reset button, or how does that work?
So on a Sunday, we want all the members, of course, to check in for church online. And if you're a Dream Teamer, you also want to check into Dream Team. So once you've selected your check-in for church online, then you need to press the start over. Then all the events will appear again, and then you can do your check-in to Dream Team.
Okay. So if you check in 5 times, it's fine. We will have it only counted as once.
You can check in multiple times if you like the app that much to do it over and over again. But I assure you, to check in once is fine. As long as you get the message, you're all checked in, then you can know that you are checked in.
So obviously, we're going to use the barcode, like you were saying, Pastor Leon, in 2 areas potentially. Number 1, in children's ministry, because we want children in to check out, and that barcode then closes that transaction, so to speak. And then secondly, perhaps when we have events, like, for example, a growth track, and where you have to check out of that session so that we can have the record that you've attended all aspects of the growth track. Would that be correct in saying that's where the checkout would apply?
So that is correct. That is a setting that one sets for when you set up the event. You can either allow a complete check-in, or then a check-in where you receive the barcode and you actually have to go to the counter to scan. Like, for instance, when we back at church and people serving in Dream Team, they need to have their label printed. They will then, we will activate the function of partial check-in or pre-check-in, where you will receive your code, go to the counter, scan it, and your label will be printed, and Dream Teamers will still be able to be identified by the team they're serving in.
Okay, awesome. Precious is asking, we've been asked to test this app. Is it still going to happen, or is it UAT? Now you see that's before me, this fancy words that you guys are using. Completed. I would assume that the point you're asking, are we still testing? The app is not being tested. We're testing you to see whether you as the members can log in and do this. So even now lockdown, we want to know who's with us, but it is a test phase, because when we go back, then we don't want to have any hiccups. We want to just run with it. Everybody knows what check-ins is all about. And so, yes, we are testing it during the lockdown phase, but it's also going to be great for us to keep our records updated and to stay in contact with you, and especially when it's salvations, first-time visitors, so that we can deal with it. Now, that brings me then to a good question, Pastor Leon. If I'm a first-time visitor, and I've never corresponded with a church, you don't have any of my details, how do I, first of all, what happens to the connection card? Is there still a connection card, or, and do I have to, help me? What do I do? I'm here for the very first time, but now I want to check in. Can I do it? What are the steps that I need to follow?
So I want to answer that question by saying that if you, the membership, bring somebody to church, we've always embraced and wanted to treat visitors and guests special, because they are special, and we want them to have a good worship experience with us. So 3 things that they can do to engage in the process. Even somebody who's not a member of the church can download the Church Center app, and when they request the activation code and it'll ask them to enter their name and their surname, and a profile will be created for them on the database. Then they have already engaged with us as a church. Secondly, you who bring them to church and invited them could take them to one of the check-in stations and help them there to check in. Or thirdly, they could complete the online connection card, which is a simple click of a button that will take them from the CFC app to the connection card, where they can simply fill in their details, and we will engage with them from there on.
Okay, so to summarize, Pastor Leon, is that we will take you through steps on how to get the app on your phone or your device, and then you can check in yourself. But we will have check-in stations, whether it will be at the info counters. We're going to put additional check-in stations in the mall, as well as you can check in, obviously, at the Connection Center or Dream Team Center, for that matter, and that will just help make the process so much easier. Thank you, Precious. She's just educated me. UAT means user acceptance testing. So thank you. That's what we've been doing, and everybody's coming online there. I really appreciate that. So yes, we are doing user acceptance testing. That is 100% right. Then Clayton asked this. He says, can we get past having to put in a code every time we sign in to Church Center app? That obviously sounds like it's an outdated version, Pastor Leon. Maybe you can just answer, how do we deal with that? You should not put in the code every time.
Clayton, or is it Clinton perhaps?
Clayton Willifier.
Clayton, you don't need to log out of the Church Center app. The error or the glitch, could I say, that used to check people out every few days, that has been resolved. Like I said before, simply download the latest version, the latest update of the app, and that'll work perfectly. Then you can stay logged in as long as you look after your phone, and then nobody else will have access to your information. And so no reason why you should have to check out or log out of the app.
Okay, awesome. So they just need to download the later version, and it should then work.
That's correct.
Okay, great. So Precious, thank you. She's clarified it for us. I see Jonathan all the way from the UK also watching. He's also clarified for us. Guys, we're going to get you guys to help us with UAT, user acceptance testing. So well done. Okay, thank you for helping us and educating us there. And that's exactly what we've been doing. So let's just conclude the whole thing, Pastor Leon. I think we've answered most of the questions. Most people are aware. I think first of all is that if you've got any questions, mail us at mis@cfcsa.co.za, and Pastor Leon and Pastor Pranusha will answer all your questions that you might have. Please use it. There are emails that have been sent, so read the emails. There are other links that are also available on the website. So look for the information. If you can't find anything, it is all there. And failing all of that, mail us and Pastor Leon will send you the same information again, or answer any questions. Or if you need to speak to them, they will be available. They got phones that they can talk to you. So by all means, do that. Let's just start to summarize the whole process. So the reason why we want to do this is, first of all, we want to, move with technology. Number one, because this technology is just making it so much easier for us to do, number one. And then number two is that we want to phase out the clipboards and be more COVID compliant, because that is an old way of doing things. But number three, and for me, the biggest advantage is that we put control in your hands, family. You are in charge of your information and to report that. And if everybody can do this, I mean, it literally takes me every morning a couple of seconds, not minutes, seconds to check in. And I'm checked in. And my details are there, and it's just so much easier for us then to pastor you and to help you on your journey and as you take your next steps. And to, you see, because the minute we can see information about you, we can help you to decide what your next step should be, and we can suggest some things and talk to you and pastor you much better. That, I think, is the most important. Whether it's in groups, whether it's in Dream Team, whatever it might be, that's what it's going to do for us. So in conclusion, Pastor Leon, what is your concluding thoughts, things to remember, UATs, all those BACs, ABCs, XYZs, and BCs? What would you suggest, or what is your closing thoughts on that?
To the members, I want to say that we need you all to get on board with this, to embrace it with us. And I don't want us to only get involved once we're back at church, and to think, okay, this is replacing clipboards, so I don't really need to get involved now. It's important that we are embracing the system and getting involved now, because of correct update of details. And one thing that I've realized during this period of time is the importance of communicating effectively on social media. We're not in a position where we have the same personal interaction. So we have to ensure that our communication through the electronic means is effective, and that we as a church can get hold of you. We have your correct details. And so come on board with us, embrace it. It's a journey that we're embarking on together. And just one thing that I would want to mention, many of you that's watching now are perhaps a member in a group, you're a group leader. Communicate with your leaders, with your coaches, with your LTMs if you need, of course, if you need assistance, but anything else that they perhaps cannot assist you with. Like Pastor Johnny said, we are here to assist, and we will gladly help you.
Great. Awesome. So yes, family, we are in user acceptance testing. I'm going to write that word now, precious. Okay. So we are in user acceptance testing. So we are asking you all to join us, please. You might say, yeah, but it's not necessary yet. Please, we're asking you to do that just so that we can get through this. The more people is on board, the easier it is for us to evaluate where the challenges are. So when we go back to church, we don't want to keep you, first of all, in a queue of 3 hours just to check in, because we are obligated to do that under government regulation. So if we have this system in place, we can show government everything is in place. We'll talk later on about how we're going to screen you guys for temperature. We are working very hard on that, looking at mass thermal scanning and things like that. So all those kind of informations will become available closer to the time. but know that we are working on it. I promise you, the church will be one of the safest places. You guys know that already, but it's going to be one of the safest places. So, hey, Pastor Leon, thank you for joining tonight. It's been very informative. I loved it. I just love that we are moving with technology because it makes my life so much easier. It makes the members' life so much easier. And you put control back into the hands of the members. And I think that's something that I, as a member, love. I can manage myself. I can check in myself. I can check out myself. And nice thing to know is that the church is upgrading their systems to accommodate all these changes. We're improving even on our Wi-Fi and that making that experience even better as we speak. We're busy upgrading all those kind of things, upgrading our servers. I'm just mentioning it because we're in a technological debate here. But all these kind of things to help make your experience so much better. So, hey, Pastor Leon, thank you for joining us. Pass my greetings on to Pastor Pranusha and the kids. And from us, all here at Christian Family Church, thank you, Clive, behind the scenes, doing all the slides and all the pictures. Great job. Team, wonderful. Well done, Pastor Leon, for doing this, for steering this, and for getting this off the ground. So once again, our message is this. Please get on board. Speak to your members. Speak to your friends. Download the app. Register. Check in for services because it helps us to process data. We need test data so that we can see how this is moving forward. It helps us. Don't worry if it's a new person. How do I get that person involved? We're going to create testing and check-in stations at the church when that time happens. Now, before the time, if somebody wants to register, speak to MIS, mail them. They'll help you through the process. And I've had a great time tonight. Thank you for joining us. Zoom with the members. And a special edition on the technology that we're using and deploying to make your life so much easier. God bless you guys, and we'll see you soon.